My name is Shyla Court. I am with Decorizing Your Life in Watonga, Oklahoma. But look how cute you can make just a very plasticky thing look great. I mean, so super great. I've even seen them use, and this is a chalk paint, and I did all sorts of brush strokes to build texture in it. I didn't want it smooth. You could even put a texture medium in it to make it kind of chunky and not smooth. Now I know on plastic, it's sticking perfectly to that, but like I accidentally chipped this off because I haven't sealed it. So probably for high use, and since it's plastic, I would probably put about 3 coats of a water-based top coat or some kind of top coat on it to keep it good. But most of my designs are crazy and distressed anyway, so if it chips a little bit, it's not gonna matter. But I didn't prep this at all. I just put some chalk paint, and we're gonna walk you through all those steps. And this is the new trim mold I haven't even got to use. It's so good. It is trim 3, and let me tell you, it's good. So this is my first day using it. And this is the Bohemia stamp, and there's a lot of parts to it. I'm gonna change it up and kind of, you know, to make some interest. And we're just gonna get started. So 2 coats of a white paint with a lot of texture built into it to when I do my water glaze, which literally you just put a little paint in and water it down and brush it on to make it just catch in those grooves. And that's what I did here, which I'll pull it up close later so you can see it. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the stamp first, because it was a little hard to work around my molds and get the stamp. As you can see, I missed it a little bit. So kind of like with stenciling, you load and unload. When your brayer's fresh and it doesn't have any paint on it, make sure you roll it all the way around your thing, or it will affect it rolling. It won't roll as good. So load, and then kind of make sure it's not too drippy, and unload a little bit, maybe on this, you know, page or something. So let's load that one. When you're working with clay paint, you gotta go a little faster. Like you gotta flip it on and put it on there, it'll dry and you have to redo it. Ink, you have a lot more time. And I dripped some down and where I don't want it, but that's just kind of how it is. So if you see that happen, if you loaded your stamp too much, you can stamp it and clean it up and move on if you want it. Okay. Oh, my dogs are going nuts. There's something going on. Now this may not be even because I'm doing it on a live and holding it cockeyed, but let's just go ahead and try to get it. Hoover over and then commit. Hold it with one hand. And I just watched Josie on a live not too long ago, and she does her fingernails like this. And literally, it really helps you if you use your fingernails to glide across this plastic mount. And you can take them off of the mount they come on, but your fingers just don't slide as good. So anytime you can leave it on the mount, it's easier. Okay. So then lift it straight off. Oh, I love this stamp. Love this stamp. Okay, so let's reload. Look how good, look how good. Okay, so again, it didn't go up to the top. So let's use a trim to fill in up there, which, am I gonna have the mold there? No, I will not. But let's still fill it in because I knew I had to on there. Let's just do the skinny one. And again, see, I've got it on the thin mount. Or, I mean, the mount that comes on it. Yeah, let's do that to just fill in that gap. Okay, and I could put an iron orchid mold on here too, if I wanted. But this is kind of cut, kind of funky, and you can bend them and shape them to that, and that's fine, but I just am gonna do this. But if I would have pre-sealed this with water-based top coat, then I have a little forgiveness that if it was bad, I can take my Lysol wipe and wipe it off and start over. So that's a good reason to pre-seal your chalk paint before you do your stamps. But if you're not doing a live, you can really kind of put a painter's tape on there if your paint's really good dry under there, and kind of give you to make sure it's level. This could be real bad because it's hard to do upside down. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, that's gonna bug me really bad. Matter of fact, so bad that I'm gonna try, even though my paint's not sealed, I may make a hot mess here. Yep, it's gonna be a hot mess. So, I'm gonna go with this look right here. Just because that bugs me so bad. We're gonna work with it. Okay, so anyways, this is just training for tips and tricks, so you guys can do it better when you're not on the live. Okay, now let's do, I went ahead and pre-made one of these molds, but I am gonna do a mold on here too. I wanted to do a different one than that. So this is on the same Trim 3 mold, and see how it has a female and a male end, which is brilliant and really helps you to make it more seamless. So let's turn this over. This is my favorite glue. It's more expensive, but worth every penny, because if you're working on a vertical piece, you can't lay your piece down where you're laying it down and working with gravity. You can hold it up there 1, 2, 3, and it's stuck. So it's nice, except sometimes you want it to slide and you can't, and it sticks fast. So I like this step, and what I do is I keep a cheap brush and some water. You can do it with your fingers, you can do it with a popsicle stick. And I just kind of dip my brush, because this is super thick, thick and tight is what it's called. And just brush it, because you want it all the way to the edges. You don't want to miss the edges, because this stuff does shrink a little bit and lift. So you want to try to help it to seal down the best it can. When you're working with air dry clay, you just gotta know it's gonna crack and not be perfect, which I really like that look. If you want a more perfect look, use your resin pour. Use hot glue. I've never tried that. I've even seen some people use caulking, but not with silicone, or it will ruin your molds and not come out. I haven't tried that either. I just love the air dry clay. So, okay, so I got that. And then let's go ahead and put it on here. Go all the way up to the top. And this is, you know, it could still be, you can mar your image if you press too hard, so you just kind of baby it, pat it like a little baby so that it adheres, but you don't squish it. This one's been set up for a little bit because I had it pre-made, so it's a little, you know, it's got a little hardness to it, which is really nice. You can pop them in the freezer and pop them out if you need to. Okay, so now what I kind of did was I just held up to see, because, you know, I don't want to fill the whole thing up if I don't need it. So you put it where that's gonna be, so I need it to be about right. Let's see, I'm gonna go to that one right there. So let me set this to the side here. Make a mold. Anybody that watches these a lot, you've seen this 1,000 times, but it never gets old. So I keep a little thing of cornstarch and another cheap brush, makeup brush, whatever. A lot of times you can get away with not doing the cornstarch, especially on the bigger ones, but it doesn't hurt to do it. So just like, you know, you don't want too much, but a little bit. So get it in your hand. You don't overwork it with your body heat, but work it a little bit. These new ones are brilliant. They have the amount, you could have a food scale, and it literally helps. It's a time saver. You could just weigh out how much it says here, because you're not scraping off the excess. You know, whatever you do is gonna fill up the mold. I haven't done that yet, but just today I was like, that would really be helpful. Oh yeah, I don't have to go very far down. Let me just go to here, because this is just my ender one. And then what I like to do, which I learned on these lives myself, because I learn something every time I do a workshop. I learn it from the students. I learn it off these lives. A brayer, brilliant, to just kind of make that back flat. You don't have to have it, but it helps too. Okay, the best thing I've learned on these, again, where I'm doing the lives, flip it over and let the gravity help you roll it out. The cornstarch and good clay will help this just go so good. Look at that. And then I have these little things that you can actually get one at, it's called a, what is it called? I forgot, but it's a little point. They even have them at dollar store with a little ball. Sometimes the little nail places do polka dots with them. Those are kind of good to get, like you have some excess, but any sharp edge, a toothpick or whatever, if you have some Like, let me just show you right there. Like, see, that's just kind of not supposed to be there. So it's not a big deal. But if you want to clean it up a little bit, keep a straight edge or something. All right, so turn it over. Fixing to glue this one on. But I do it. All right, and then I just keep your brush in the water, or you will be sad that you ruined your brush later. All right, so now we're gonna flip this over. We're putting the end that goes in there. It just fits so good. It's so good. Okay, and I did too much, so I'm gonna take a straight edge. You can use a credit card or anything. That's so satisfying cutting through that clay. I'm not even lying. And I'll just put this somewhere else. If I wouldn't have got the glue on it, I could have. Okay, it's gonna be kind of hard to see now, but look at that. And see how that's already not sliding off, and I didn't even really hold it on there yet. So there's that. That looks like caca. You know what? Let's put, I don't know if I'll put a trim there or not. Let me see how much time I have. Because I want to take you through the how to glaze this and how to paint these molds while they're still not dry. They're best to let them dry for 24 hours because you can get down in there and really wax and push on it and it won't hurt them. But in workshops, I have to move along quick, so you just kind of go a light hand. So I do want to do that. This just looks so bad. I really messed it up, but you can see the good one here. Should I do that now? Yeah, let me just put a little trim. Let's try a little trim mold because I haven't done these. Look at these. This is trim 3. Right there. Okay. Let's move on to the painting. All right. Okay, let me get some stuff out of the way. I used just I mean, it'd be kind of fun to change colors, like have a green, turquoise, you know, but I'm just gonna keep it in the same family. So let me just show you how much paint. Oh, and I spilled my water. I don't wanna use my glue water. Okay, well, anyways, I mean, baby amount of paint, and then spray down with water bottle. Just really watery, what it is. And then that's a little darker than that, so I just kind of let it drip. And because my stamp chalk paint isn't sealed and my paint that I use is reactivated by water, I can't just go like that or it's gonna smear it. So just kind of blot it off depending on what paint you use or if you've sealed it. And just look at that. It's just a really nice, you can do, you know, you can do it stronger. Okay, and let me show you how I did the same thing with black, just a dot of black paint and really watery. Look how good this does over these details, just barely kind of. And I had it like this so it didn't run down, but. So none of this will look good as if you're doing it at home and really concentrating and focusing. You got to give us stock of some grace. We're our own cameraman. We designed the project, we're doing the project and trying to teach tips and tricks. So it's like a lot of multitasking. Okay, so I did the black over it, and then after that dried, I went over it with the turquoise that I used. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I forgot to get my turquoise up here. But you see the sisters, when they do their lives, they're always like just watering it down. And I learned that from them. But that'll make it go into all the grooves, especially if it's vertical, but that's okay. But it's not, we're gonna get you the idea. But see how fast that is to paint? Now I'm gonna hit that with a blow dryer just for a second, and then we're gonna go over it with the, do that? Go over it with the turquoise on top of that so it'll look more like that. Paint. Just hit the top of these. Ooh, look at that black and that turquoise. That looks so good. you're not able to see. Hang on, let me get a little closer. See how if you just, it's not dry brushing, but if you just kind of barely hit the tops, how much, look at that. Oh, it's so good. Look how wonky that is, but you can make it better. Set it like this into your project. It really is a lot easier. Even my big pieces of furniture, if I can, I lay them on their backs to do the stamping and the molds. It's a game changer. And then this is just another painting tip. Anytime you can start with your painting furniture projects upside down, do that first coat like that and then maybe turn it up for the second coat, you will hit so many spots you would have missed if you wouldn't have done that. So, okay, and then just watch this. See how that just runs into the grooves and just, I love it. And then if you don't like the drippy look, just take and kind of wipe your little baby's face. Okay, let me put this back together for you so you can see. Hang on. Okay. Can you see the potential of how good? And if I wanted to, I could have, if I wanted this whole piece to not look plastic, I would have put black chalk paint over this. And then if it chips, it would still be black, but it's just that, I don't know, clay paint just changes it. But do you see the look? How easy and fast that was. So Bohemian Stamp, Trim 3, Mould, super fun. So I'm gonna probably do this one coordinating, but with another one of the, just change it up. Use the same one, but so that there's just a difference, interest. Okay, that was it.